Opportunity. When the opportunity knocks, you got to answer the door. My name is Diane Silva. I am a mom and a caregiver. That is my full-time job. Advocate, parent leader, wife, friend, daughter, all of those things. So I have two daughters. My daughter Chloe is 18 and my daughter Ella is 15. So my daughter Ella had an AVM rupture and a stroke when she was 5. So the world of disability didn't come into play into our lives until she was 5 years old. So one time going to the zoo, I think she was like 6 or 7 at the time, and realizing there was nowhere to change her and being told to change her on the bathroom floor. So that immediately set off fire in my belly, fireworks in my head, that an employee was taking me to bathroom to find a spot to change. At the time she was probably 65 pounds, total care dependent, wheelchair user. And I was like, there has to be something better. That kind of opened my eyes to the need, and then researching the need and finding there's a bigger campaign called the Changing Spaces campaign, which is a group of volunteer advocates across the country that are advocating for height adjustable adult size changing tables. So they're not just baby changing tables, they're bigger and can be used by everyone. The beauty of PLTI is utilizing your lived experience as your knowledge base. And I also love that from the get-go we were called parent leaders because we already had information to use, but just building on that information and fine-tuning it. I can also say that the PLTI was challenging in that the breadth of what we were learning and the tools that we were given, it wasn't everything everywhere all at once. We had to work on and build upon and scaffold, and yeah, there were definitely uncomfortable conversations, but I think it's all education and learning and eye-opening, and really just sees through the lens of not only your experience but other people's as well. And it can't just be a judgment call by looking at someone, because you have no idea what someone's story is or what their life experience is, or what that holds for them. It's very, for me and everyone else, I think it's very emotional. You're tied to, not tied to being a parent, but you're a parent, and then all of these things come out of it. And having that cohort connection, I think, was huge, but also having the facilitators to give you a push in a direction, and you have to figure out if it's the right direction. What stood out for me is the finding your voice, and then testifying and all of learning about laws and learning how your voice is so important that you can, you could go to the state capitol and you can testify on things that are important to you and things that matter, and that's how the change really happens. And they're each individual change agents, we are, but then as a group it's look out. But I was able to testify and for the Senate side, and then the House adopted the law, and then the governor signed the law. So as of 2027, new buildings in the state of Rhode Island will be required to have adult-sized changing tables. The Roger Williams Park Zoo is coming on board as a partner, and they're actually in the process of working on a family restroom or companion care restroom with a universal changing table. And then the CNDC, the Children's Neurodevelopment Center, is also putting in a height adjustable adult size changing table with a sensory. It's going to be a changing table, and then there's a sensory room piece of that too. PLTI is beautiful in the sense that you show up as you are. There were days, people were in their pajamas and people were struggling, and there's time at the beginning where you can actually say how active you might be during that session, and that might change during the session, but just coming as you are and realizing that we're all people first, and that human element, I think, is so important and can be lost in lots of different ways. If we cannot advocate for our own children, then who can we advocate for? Being part of RIPIN and PLTI has just really been amazing.